Pimp My Setup episode number 252. We're recorded live on July 30th, 2017. My name's Matt Philly. You can follow me on Twitter at Matt Philly. That's producer Tom. Check him out on Twitter at Thomas Philly. How you doing today?
It's almost August, guys. We did it.
Yeah. Wow, you're like really getting into it today.
You want me to be more active and more enthusiastic, so that's what I did.
Yeah. You know, we got some complaints, Tom. I want to quickly talk about those. Apparently your camera sucks.
I'm sorry.
And your background sucks, Tom.
I'm sorry.
What the hell are you doing? And apparently you should be sitting next to me. So come here. I don't want you to produce it all today. Yep. Come on over. So we're not actually going to be able to look at setups or change shots.
We're just going to...
But I do have producer Tom sitting right next to me.
Okay.
He's not producer today, though. No, just kidding. All right. Let's do this, though. I was having a good time with that. So, first set of the day, submitted by Danny. He's 18. He's set up for producing music and gaming. And he actually has a DJ name. You want to know his DJ name?
DJ Danny.
Surprisingly, it's not either of those. It's actually Future Not Found. So DJ Future Not Found. Is that like a little long for a
little too long? You don't need a last name.
Yeah, interesting name. I like it. Probably the best setup of the day, I think. Okay, there's one person above him, but still second best setup. And honestly, that's not saying much because the rest of these setups suck. But I do want to say this is an awesome setup. You know, the simplicity is there. Of course, the foam tiles, we're going to get some audio files in chat that are going to be like, guys, I just want you to know it's not actually doing anything sad-wise. So he might, you know, be cool because he's a DJ, but it's not really doing anything to the sound, which is cool. Whatever. It just makes it look nicer. And I do like it. The one thing I find weird, though, is using the same foam as the isolation pads for the speakers. Not necessarily because I'm sure it does a great job, you know, but I don't know. And then again, I don't even think it really does anything. I don't know if that's the best way to handle the speakers.
It just raises it. That's it.
Yeah, especially the studio monitors. You know, these are meant to sound amazing. I'd put it on something a little nicer. I would probably put it on actual like stands for these monitors. They make tons of different variations, and the other big problem with it is it's too large, so it makes it look worse than it really should. You know, proper speaker stands will really take this to the next level, make it look a little bit neater. And yeah, I mean, everything else on the desk though is so simple because it's just the keyboard and the mouse. There's nothing else. So part of me wants there to be more, but at the same time, you don't want to go borderline over the top. But I do think a little bit more could go on there just to kind of add to accessories. But not the end of the world. But if we look under, we could see a Scarlet, we could see a Signum, we could see the Velcro stranded cables there, which, okay. I guess maybe there's not enough length to the cables, but it should go up the PC along the top, bottom of the desk, into the Signum, not necessarily just straight across like that. That's what I would say. But actually, Bones also just brought up something I wanted to talk about with the Scarlet. He said, is it the Scarlet in his crotch? That is a very odd spot for it, because you have to think, if he plugs in a microphone, which is what most people use this for, I don't know exactly why there's nothing plugged into it, but the XLR cable has to go right in there. So the cable's coming out of the dead center of the two displays. So you're sitting right there and it's coming right into your stomach. You know, like, is that really the best spot for it? It should be either on the left or right side, and that would make things a lot more easy to access. And then a lot of people are complaining about that silver leg in the back. Don't worry, I already took 35 points off for that. He is probably in last place now.
Yep. No,
but seriously, it is a really nice setup. Theme, from what we can see, we can't really see too far above. You know, it looks like it's very personal. You know, your favorite bands and you know, you with your, I guess, favorite your girlfriend. People. Yeah, so it's like, that's cool. And the door has a lot of stuff up on it. So very cool in that sense, but I do think it's lacking maybe a little bit in just, I don't know. It's very basic. But what do you think, T?
I like the styrofoam. I keep saying styrofoam, but it's acoustic foam.
Yeah.
Because it kind of just like blends in with everything, and the speakers like look way better with the foam in the back, I believe, just because it, you know, it's black on black, just looks nice, and it's got like a speckled look to it. I know I keep talking about the acoustic foam, but I like the speckled look to it. I don't know if that's like supposed to be like that, but I think it looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said everything, so I don't want to regurgitate again.
Yeah, so very simple things to do. It is a great setup. It did get second place, so great job there. Next setup submitted by Lucas. He's 15. You set it for gaming. Top. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I did have a moment before I read his email where I was like, "Is that a stuffed dog? What the fuck is that?"
I think that was one of the reasons I accepted this setup.
Dude, zoom in on it.
I know.
The dog can't see. Give it a haircut. I know, like, the style is to have long hair and stuff, but the dog...
He's emo.
Yeah, he's like, bro, I don't talk about it, though. It can't even see. I find this so funny. Like, this is honestly one of the funniest things ever. And he said in his email, it's his dog's favorite place to just chill.
Just stare at him.
And he even said it doesn't matter to him because it's not really, like, in his way, but... I kind of feel like
usability.
Yeah, I mean, look at the rest of your setup. I think you have bigger issues, but how did that even happen? Your dog's just like, bro, can I get up there real quick? You're like, sure, and then it's just like,
he's like, I'm gonna take cable management the picture, but let me just take the picture with the dog on it. It's funnier.
Yeah, I'm having such a like. All right, it's definitely probably a cute dog if I could see its face, but it looked fake. I was gonna be like, yo, get the toy off your desk.
Yeah.
That's weird. We've seen dogs all over the place in setups, but not quite like that. That's usually where a cat is. But that's cool.
That's the best thing about your setup, if I'm being real.
Yeah, someone said the usability is really bad on your dog, and you gotta get full usability of the dog. But seriously, this setup, I don't even want to waste too much time on. I just thought it was funny with the dog. Next photo, you'll see just how bad the cable management is. I gave him a terrible score on that. His headphones just sitting up on the desk. The right display isn't even on. Who knows if it even works? So the usability there is awful. You have the mouse pad kind of curling up onto the stand, so that's a big issue. The keyboard. The dog's in the way. Move the goddamn dog. But theme really is nothing there. It's just a really underwhelming setup. Super easy to fix. And yeah, I don't really have something else. So when Canderson said in chat, it's a sick pop vinyl. That's actually really funny.
Realistic pop vinyl.
Yeah, and someone said, why is the heater next to the PC? There's a lot of questions for this setup. But questions. Yeah, I really think, you guys in the comments can leave more detailed feedback for him, but I think it's pretty obvious what he needs to do. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
All right. Next setup submitted by Dino. Dino's 12. You set up for gaming, listening to music, and if you want to check him on YouTube, Dino Telescus.
The T is silent.
Even though I want to call him Dino, I'll call him his actual name. So take a look at the setup. This is not really me making fun of him, but just for this, like, look how good the photo is there. The white balance is good. The lighting's nice. But then the first photo, it's like, you can't be taking that at the same time of day and telling me your settings just like changed automatically. Like, I did minus 14 points off for that, but it's whatever. Seriously though, looking at this part, it's very simple. I do like the canvas. I will say that. Just a really cool photo. I always say I like it when it's a little more separated, but it's a pretty good distance in between each piece there. And then, yeah, the white on white on white with the nice dark wool and whatnot. Very, very nice. I do like it. Not much to say about it. He's got his Minecraft books handy dandy. So, any time of the day, he just whips it out. He's like, how am I crafting this shit? And he's good to go. But, it's weird. I actually think this case is on 2 different setups today. I just realized that. Yeah, what's that, like I buy power. Very interesting, because I was gonna say that's a cool piece to have in your setup for sure, because it makes, I don't know, it's just a little something cool to add, and
yeah,
it's a little different, it's a little more unique. I'm sure people are like, actually that's one of the best used cases. I haven't seen it that often.
There was a survey in 2015, 44% use this case.
Yeah, god damn it, Matt, learn what you're talking about. But I would say the headphones gotta go somewhere better than that, and I think you should really keep that corner more so dedicated to showing off the case and call it a day from there. The headphones could either go under your desk, mounted on a little whatever the hell you want to put it on, or just put it on a nice stand. Probably a white stand would look really cool in your setup. Maybe just a black stand, whatever, it'll look really, really nice. But I think the next biggest issue for me with this setup is just the right side. I just see so many things like, a wall that's not being used. I see cable management is not even a thing over there. Plus, I see, which is probably the most confusing part to me, an Xbox. Wow, where
so far away from anything.
Where is it hooked up to? You know, what is it used on? Is it used on your display? If it is, then why is it all the way over there? Is there a TV that we can't see that's closer to the right side by like a couch or something? I don't know. I have no clue. Personally, I think it would make more sense to have a TV above where the console is, or I don't know, just have the console somewhere close to where it's actually being used. But from what I can see, I don't think it's even plugged into anything. And the reason I think that is because we can see like the power adapter, or the brick, whatever, all that stuff, but we don't see any other cable coming out that's going off to the right side or going off to the left, because obviously it doesn't care about cable management. We would be able to see where that's going, but I don't see anything coming out of it. You know, I always say controller stance is really cool. Put the LEDs somewhere, get storage, so you don't have like all these random pieces here. I really do think it's super easy to fix. The left side's cool. The right side's your biggest issue right now. And yeah, and someone said maybe he has a projector. That's also a great point. But there was nothing said about that in the email, and if it was, I still can't read green eggs and ham, so leave me alone. You have any final thoughts for him?
Yeah, someone employing Frog, new stuff. He said get some Alex droids or something, put it on the left side of the main desk, and put the Xbox on that.
You know what? Stop with the good ideas, all right? Stop.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Really idea. Is a good idea if you're using it for that.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping there's a better, solution that we're not aware of.
Yeah, I'll just separate. Have your TV side, with the gaming and all that, then your computer side, and just call it a day.
Which is usually the idea behind the whole L desk situation. But hey, next setup submitted by Bobby's 14. You set up for gaming, and this is a very interesting setup. If you look at the next photo, he's like under, I want to say a bed, but then again, there's no mattress on top.
Maybe he just sleeps on the hard railing.
Yeah, maybe he's like, conditioning himself for living in the wild for a year or two by himself. I don't know, but that is what it's supposed to be. I don't know what the story is there. Maybe he's got a different room now where his bed and everything's set up, but he just loved this situation so much.
I love having to crawl underneath my my setup, basically.
Enter my dungeon. Watch your head, though, because it's kind of low. Yeah. But I'm kind of confused what's going on there. But he went all out with the LEDs, which is a cool feature. I think it'd be even cooler if he had the bed, though, because the way it would diffuse and it would just illuminate a lot nicer. But there's a lot of issues with the setup. Third photo, you could see it's coming off of his laptop, which is nice and all, but we see cables. And then one thing that really irks me is the garbage can. Not only is it full, it's overflowing. And he's, like, purposely taking a photo of it. Like, how do you do that and say, like, it's actually not that big of a deal, man. It's just a garbage can. And then the next photo, we could see he's got, his cables are drooping and stuff. So it's not really too much attention to detail when it comes to cable management, which, whatever. But the first photo, it's very interesting. One thing I was actually really digging was the right side, where it's kind of like tilted. He's got all his games underneath, his tablet, a cool LED lamp, and some cool little knickknacks and stuff. I actually thought that was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. But he started to lose me the more I looked to the left. And, the monitor going down like that, that's interesting. Don't know what the usability is like there, but he did say he plays CSGO, so I'm assuming there's some stupid ass reasoning behind it, like, actually my neck, I'm gonna have to block this if I want to get kills. Don't know the true full story there, but that's fine. And then he's got the left display, which is, I guess, more console oriented than anything, but still the usability isn't really there for me. And I don't get it. If you have the one angled like that, why not angle the other one a little more up? Because you seem to be into weird shit like that. The disconnect too, I doubt you're using dual displays, but if you are, that's one thing I'm kind of like, but it is an interesting setup. The left side with all the, like, the remote and the little keychains and stuff, that's different. That's cool. The single piece of acoustic phone tile, is that really something I think was necessary? No.
He bought one off Amazon. Yeah. He's like,
yeah, the shipping kills me, man. How can I get one?
Costs more than the phone.
Yeah. So, I don't really have much else to say for that part of it, but in the next photo, like the back right side, you just see the power strip.
He does have one on the opposite side. Okay, good.
Oh, God. The symmetry. I just feel so much better now. But look at just the power strip and the cables and the boxes and the stuff up on the wall and just so many different issues in this setup with just cleanliness and keeping it, just don't let it build up like that, you know? But I don't really have much else to say unless you do, T.
If you're not using that actual bed frame above, I would just get a desk. Like,
yeah,
I really don't understand the full, like, unless you're like 4'2", it's like normal for you to walk underneath it. But I just feel like for any person that's normal size, that's like a pain just to keep like ducking over, even if it's just the top of your head. It just seems like an unnecessary thing.
Well, a lot of people are saying this setup has a lot of potential, and I do agree.
Yeah.
And I think based off what Tom just said, if he's not using this room as a bedroom anymore, then get rid of all that stuff, and you could do like a U shape. That whole corner, like that could be epic. You can have one side for console gaming, one set up with your laptop and the screen. It could all be on one desk. You don't have to put it underneath. And then the other side can be for staring at acoustic foam tiles. I don't know.
Sure.
But I feel like you could literally do so much with this room. And I do agree with what people are saying. And really your setup's not bad. It's just simple things like emptying the garbage and fixing cables and so on and so forth. But hey, next setup submitted by Granny17. He's a website developer and designer. He's also a DJ. Again, another DJ today. Do you want to know what his name is?
DJ Granny Grant.
Granny Grant. That's not it. His DJ name is DJ More Lag. Again, I haven't been in the DJ scene in a while.
DJs.
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like my name was DJ Matt, you know?
It's usually your name.
And someone just said, not everybody's rich, Matt, regarding the last setup. Are you kidding me? The kid was 14. He had like an MSI laptop and like crazy stuff. So it's not about that. But anyways, this setup is interesting. He basically runs servers. So he has 2 of them set up in his house. But he's also a DJ. But he's also a website developer and designer. But he's also 17. So I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this. I'll just be straight up and honest as quick as possible. It's not good. But if you were to have more room, it would make a lot more sense. You're trying to fit 3 to 4 different sort of setups all on one kind of small situation. And that's your biggest issue. You're slowly killing, your Xboxes and all that stuff by stacking them like that. You have the one display on the far right side, and then you have your DJ equipment right next to that with a laptop on top, and then you also have another PC over there with your subwoofer on top of your desk, which is not how that works, with a small little thing. Like, by the way, if I was a website designer and developer, I don't really do too much of that. I know a little bit, and I've done stuff here and there, but my God, working on that little ass screen, the one to the left.
Oh, yeah, that one, yeah.
Because that's like his computer setup. Using that would absolutely be the living death of me. Look how big the taskbar is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know. I'm having a hard time with all this. It's just like weird to me because the far right display seems like it'd be a lot better than the far left, and it looks like you don't really use the far right that often. I don't know, but I kind of agree with what someone just said in the chat. Like, oh my God, the coats right above your setup like that's very weird. I want to say that I really like it, and I want to say it's like a super cool setup, but I do think it's too much for the room that you have. And I just feel like the usability is terrible. Cable management's not good at all. Look at the tubing going down to the outlet. But then you look to the left side where all the cables are behind the monitors, speakers, subwoofer. You look even behind the laptop, and it's like just too much. These killing the consoles and this usability. I don't get it. The random mouse by the DJ equipment. Like, what the? I don't know. I'm having a hard time with it. I really am. But I think I've kind of hit everything. Between usability of the speakers, like I said, subwoofer shouldn't be there. Having 15 setups on one desk doesn't really work. But Tom, he does have the more lag canvas art, so it's all good. 100
Uncrypt too.
I think that's like his. He said he has a record label.
He's DJ Uncrypt More Lag.
I think he said he has a record label named Uncrypt or something.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's website developer, designer, DJ, record owner, and server hoster.
What I would do 17. Is sell that speaker because it looks like it can go for a pretty penny, and maybe buy some some new equipment, depending on if this desk is actually a long-term. I think the desk is fine, actually, now I'm looking at it.
Just not for 18 setups.
Not for 18 setups. I would just organize a little bit better. But maybe that speaker should go somewhere else. I mean, I don't know if you're actually using it for your setup.
I think he's using it when he DJs, though.
Yeah, so he just rolls it out and brings it to wherever
Or
he
he just leaves it there because it's loud enough, I'm sure.
Yeah, he brings it. Oh, there are a couple houses over. I'll just keep the speaker in here. It should be fun.
And someone said I missed a lot. Look at the consoles. I talked about the consoles like 5 times. The first thing you said was the consoles. Plus, I said it more than once. So, anyways, whatever.
The consoles are not good.
Yeah. Plus, the next photo, I don't know if we showed that. It's not. All right. Well, let's just go to a good setup. The best setup of the day. Submitted by Hayes. He's 24. You set up for gaming. Wow. Okay. Great setup. 10 out of 10. Let's move on. Seriously, the cable management goes into the slot built into the desk. That's great. There's only like one main critique, and see, there's that case again.
Yep.
There's only one main critique that I have with this setup. The theme. Look at it. It's great. The pop vinyls on the shelf, the little figures being displayed, the framed artwork is amazing. The cleanliness, just the subwoofer on the floor. Oh my God, I'm getting excited about normal things. The only thing I have a problem with is just the fact that he's not centered to that left desk. And I know some people don't really get what I'm saying, but I think this is pretty obvious. You look at the right speaker and it's not even on the same desk. And although it's not probably the biggest deal breaker in the world, I think the PC should go to the right, and then the speakers, the monitor. Start with the monitor. Center the monitor to the desk that you're actually sitting at, and then keep everything set up with that. Bop bop bop. Bop bop.
Equidistant. Just keep bringing stuff.
Once you have that situated, the PC is going to be off to the right, and it'll just look and make a lot more sense. I do see one thing, though. This is probably the reasoning behind it, is him having the artwork the way it is. So he centered himself to the artwork rather than to the desk, which, whatever. If it's really not that big of a deal for him, I'm sure he's just going to leave it, and that's fine. But, personally, I like to be centered to the desk because it's more about comfort than it is with, visual. Plus, the other thing I was going to say is, I always say this again, speaker, get some isolation pads, it points it up, just makes a lot more sense. It's just nice to have. He's got his microphone and all that situated very nicely, which I like. He's got, here we are with another Scarlett, which looks good. Really, it's a super awesome setup. I really like it. Maybe the right side, the power brick from the Xbox can be hidden a little bit nicer and stuff like that. But for the most part, and actually, Canderson, here I'm shouting out Canderson like every setup. I agree with what he said. He said it's a comfortable and relaxed setup. And I get that vibe because not only is it a place where he can game, he can also do anything else because it's straightforward and to the point. But also it's his. It's got his personality to it. It's very clean. And I really like it. I do think it's a cool setup. Now, I don't know if he uses a subwoofer for like a footrest time to time, but I would just put the subwoofer on the opposite side. That's why I center to the desk and have the subwoofer on the left. And it just, I don't know, that's like a weird thing from what I can see, but it's cool. I really like it. What do you think, T?
Yeah, I mean, you basically said everything I was going to say. Like the pop vinyls that are over there, it's like, I like how they're displayed like in front of the boxes or in front of those pop vinyl boxes.
Yeah, those aren't even pop vinyls.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. You know what I mean. Those figures, whatever. But the top shelf, like, I just don't like when they're just in the boxes sitting in there, especially if they're displayed like that. It's a little pet peeve I have.
Yeah, well, some people prefer it. I take mine out.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, 30 years from now, I'm going to get millions of dollars. It's going to be the best.
Yeah, I mean, like, I understand why people do it. It just doesn't look as appealing if they were out of the box.
Yeah. Well, at least he has enough to do 2 rows high.
Yeah.
But
no, it fills up the wall nicely.
Yeah. So next setup, I feel like we've talked about this one before.
Maybe. No, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm having,
you just don't want to talk about
I'm having
it again.
PTSD. I'm just kidding. 15, you set up for gaming and schoolwork. And his YouTube, I didn't write it down. I don't know. I have the thing for YouTube, but I didn't actually say what it was. I don't know. Looking at this setup, though, my God. It's just,
Really, the problem is he doesn't have an actual desk.
I think the problem is he robbed a furniture store and got the wrong stuff. I mean, he's got
perfect. I got all this. Oh no!
You look at the right side that has like the tannish, beigeish sort of wood and you're like, oh, that's his furniture set. And then you look at the white and you're like, oh. And then you see the piece in front of you, you're like, oh. And then you look at the piece to the left of that and you're like, oh. You're like, oh. And then you look at the wall and you're like, oh, he's under the sea. Which really, I do get that vibe, you know. He's got the little fishies.
He's got literally fishies all over his room.
Yeah, and it's like what the fuck? The heaviest dolphin? Zooming at it literally just says heaviest dolphin.
It reminds me, you remember those books that has like the scaly fish thing or whatever?
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
See, if I was ever a dolphin, this would be my piece of artwork right there.
Sure.
The heaviest dolphin.
It's an award or something like that.
Yeah. Good job, Matt Dolphin.
An award for heaviest dolphin.
I'm having a hard time really grasping what it is he's going for here, because we have the baby marine blue, the darker blue on top. We have the green from the desk, and then we have white all over, and the tan and the dark wood, and then even darker wood floors. And there's a lot going on. And people said, how old is he? I already said he's 15. People are saying he's 10. He's not 10. He's 15. But man, there's a lot I could say about this, but I feel like I've seen this one before. Maybe he's posted it somewhere else on SETUPS Addicts, whatever, but I feel like I've seen this one before, and it's just super confusing to me. The craziest thing is he has a dope-ass PC, triple monitors, and then this. You know, he has his speakers, right? But I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, man, I don't want to be a dick, but I'm going to do it. Take everything out of the room, set all the wood, all the furniture on fire, buy a simple desk, put it up against the wall. IKEA Linmon will cost you like $50 for everything you need. Triple monitors across, PC on the floor next to it or whatever. That's it. You know, you got too much shit. They gotta go. I think it's pretty straightforward, right?
I mean, get some calic shelves too if you want to display the stuff, because I see you have stuff in the little drawers, like more dolphin stuff and all that, and you got
actual
some boxes and actual dolphin body parts. I mean, yeah, I would probably get some shelves to go along with it if you're going to get a plain IKEA desk or any desk that's plain. You can make your own.
And I understand, like, I would understand, you know, you're 15, maybe your parents are a little hard on you, like, no, you have to keep that furniture or whatever. But there comes a point where you spend and someone just said this in chat, Little 602 said, this is another setup where people spend a lot on monitors, PCs, etc., but they don't spend time with the furniture. And your parents, I mean, come on, your parents just have to have some common sense here and be like, you know what, Gregory?
It's not working.
It's not working. And you know, designer Ethan just said you could probably put that stuff up on Craigslist, and you know, some little kid that needs a dresser or something will get little pieces here and there, and then guess what? You get a little bit of money, you go to IKEA and you buy the stuff, and it's kind of like an equal trade. But I can just tell you from what I'm looking at right now, this is not really going to work. So, you ready?
Yeah.
Final set of the day, submitted by Mike is 22. He's set up for competitive CSGO and casual gaming, as well as video editing. If you want to check him out on YouTube, it's MKQLY. Not MKBHD, but MKQLY. Yeah, so this setup is pretty cool, pretty straightforward, kind of simple. A few things here and there I'm not a huge fan of, as always. Second photo, there we go. Utilizing what God gave you, a goddamn cable management slot. When people have this desk and don't use that, I want to take their head, smash it in there, and then sit on the desk. And you know what's going to happen when I sit on that desk. But yeah, I mean, this is confusing. You know, he says he does CSGO competitively, and I just can't help but think the monitor isn't. It's more so the left monitor, because he is technically centered to the main one, but I just feel like that's odd. At least do something with the left one. I'd probably just punt that shit into the backyard because it's so small anyway, and it's got this big ass, you know, stand, and I don't know. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but the biggest problem is having the PC there. Your speakers are like, you know, right up against the monitor. Your headphones are barely on the desk. You know, your blue snowball's like, what the hell am I even doing here? It's definitely interesting. So I think for you, it might make more sense to put the PC down on the floor. Like I said, punt the little monitor out the window, and then just keep the one monitor there, spread out the speakers. You'd have your headphones standing in the corner, and snowball on the opposite side, and
I like the canvas posters above.
Yeah, it's cool.
Super cool, yeah. And we can kind of see the shelf in the top right. It has some boxes on there, but
yeah, I took 15 points off.
50 points off, so he went to last place with that.
Yeah, just get ready.
Yeah, but you basically hit everything perfectly.
Yeah.
It's a simple setup, but it's a good setup. I like it.
I agree with a lot of people saying he should just get rid of these monitors altogether, sell it for a little bit of change, and then get, you know, like 144 hertz display or something for gaming. You know, you're doing gaming, you're doing competitive gaming, but here you are, like, you know, using monitors we used in school, you know, and I'm sure it's a great display. It doesn't look bad. Same with the left one. It really doesn't look that bad, but I think if you're serious about CSGO, I'd take it a little more serious, you know. And apparently I'm getting whispered by someone who's annoying as fuck, but they're saying, well, his mouse is wireless and he's competitive CSGO. I was actually talking to my buddy Kurt yesterday, and he's saying that they're like, Logitech does some really good wireless technology or some shit. I'm actually in the market. This is actually a great point. Quickly talking about myself, I want to get a wireless gaming mouse. I'm thinking about one of the Logitech ones. Let me know what you guys think in the comments and in the chat, because I do want to get one for myself, but I don't think he's having any issues with that. Plus, with the monitor he's using, I'm sure that's the last thing he's really worried about. But let me know. I do want to get a new mouse. So I do love my M65, but I do want to go wireless. So... Anyways, all right, it's time for the scores. Danny with the 90, Lucas with the 40, Dino 76, Bobby 66, Grant 62, Hayes 92, Gregory 64, Mike 78, and that's about it. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Pimp. My SETUPS number 252. We're live on July 30th, 2017. My name is Matt Philly. Find my Twitter, Matt Philly, and that's Thomas Philly. Find them on Twitter, Thomas Philly. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to see you on Wednesday.